like the Cleveland Browns offensive coordinator praised Dillion Gabriel, and it looked like threw Shedeur under the bus. Guys, it's in a quarterback battle with Dillion Gabriel and Joe Flacco. Well, when asked about the young quarterback, it looked like the offensive coordinator refused to answer about Shedeur, but he had a lot of great things to say about Dillion Gabriel. My whole thing about it is give Shedeur a fair shot.
The Browns offensive coordinator just delivered the season's biggest curveball, pushing Shedeur Sanders straight under the team bus while anointing Dillion Gabriel as the MVP before he's even taken a single snap. Yes, you heard that correctly. We're talking pure drama, plenty of shade, and a coach who clearly forgot the microphone was still live. This press conference wasn't strategy talk, it was a full-on reality show moment dressed up as football analysis. Buckle up, because this plot twist will leave fans laughing, fuming, and questioning everything.
Well, is offensive coordinator Tommy Rees of the Cleveland Browns, is he insinuating that Dillion Gabriel is more NFL ready than Shedeur Sanders? Guys, I'm here to tell you, man, that offensive coordinator Tommy Rees of the Cleveland Browns, and he just wrapped up his press conference earlier today for the media availability. Now, we're going into week 1 of the NFL. Opening night is tonight. And the Cleveland Browns are still making headline news. And it's all regarding around Shedeur Sanders and what people think about Shedeur Sanders.
If you're enjoying, please subscribe Shedeur Sanders to the channel. It helps more than you think. Tommy Rees has barely unpacked his bags in Cleveland, and he's already turned the quarterback room into a full-blown soap opera. Forget preseason drills or late-night film sessions. He basically strolled in, glanced at the depth chart, and set it ablaze without blinking. And the first name to get scorched? Shedeur Sanders. The team's young, rising star was thrown straight under the bus before the season even started. To crank up the drama, Rees then hoisted Dillion Gabriel into the spotlight as if he'd stumbled onto the golden ticket at Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. In just days, the new coordinator has managed to ignite a storyline more explosive than anything happening on the field.
Like he was speaking about Dillion Gabriel during the preseason, speaking about Dillion Gabriel working good with the ones and the twos and his poise and his demeanor on the field. I don't care nothing about none of that, bruh. Shedeur need to be given the same opportunity, because at this point, why have him? Because it clearly seemed like y'all ain't trying to develop the young man. And if y'all just want to keep him for sales and stuff, just let him go. Let him go somewhere where he's going to play and get the actual experience. And I'm tired of people saying that, you know what I'm saying, we're hurting Shedeur more than we're helping Shedeur whenever we make this type of content. We make this type of content because everybody else scared to talk about it.
Normally, when a coach fires off a comment, you assume it's standard motivational talk, the classic just lighting a fire under the kid routine. But this wasn't some gentle nudge or quiet challenge. This felt more like that awkward classroom moment where the teacher gushes over the class clown for remembering to bring a pencil while completely overlooking the student who just aced the math test. It's one thing to hand out encouragement, it's another to publicly crown someone as the next big thing before they've even taken a single professional snap, essentially rewriting the pecking order in front of everyone.
Shedeur Sanders is going to get an opportunity. Now, offensive coordinator Tommy Rees. Now, all the people that are watching who don't know who Tommy Rees is, Tommy Rees played quarterback for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish from 2010 all the way to 2013. Right? He went undrafted, but he spent some time playing quarterback for the Washington Redskins in 2014. Now, we know that Tommy Rees has been on the Cleveland Browns staff last year, but he was a tight ends coach.
That's the thing about Tommy Rees, his coaching resume is littered with these quirks. He's a system loyalist, a playbook architect who loves puzzle pieces that fit perfectly into his grid. If you're flashy, unpredictable, or refuse to color inside his lines, you're no longer the golden child. And that's exactly the spot Shedeur Sanders occupies right now, talented, sharp, and primed for the spotlight, yet not quite stamped with the Rees-approved label, a star who doesn't match the template he's built for himself.
A lot of experts today were talking about the reps that Shedeur got, handed to him today. I mean, Cleveland still gave him a second team. Let me show y'all something right quick before I go off. and give you the breaking news on Dillion Gabriel's position and situation. So it's like this, man. They got Shedeur and Joe Flacco as second team quarterback room, Kenny Pickett and Dillion Gabriel as first team, and I got a lot of uncomfortableness in what I see here, but let's talk about it. So Shedeur looked great today. I feel like besides how he looked on the first day, I told you what they attributed to, the lack of reps given to him. Of course, he was gonna be somewhat off key, a little bit uncomfortable.
Here's where the plot thickens. Shedeur isn't some untested rookie coming out of nowhere. This is a guy who's been on the radar for a while, carving up defenses, demonstrating pocket awareness beyond his years, and already carrying himself like he belongs on the big stage. And yet, somehow, he's being overlooked in favor of Dillion Gabriel, who, while talented, has a reputation for being the kind of quarterback you plug into a scheme when you need things to look tidy on paper. Let's break this down, because this isn't just about a coach preferring one player over another. This is about a statement, a perception shift, and a narrative that suddenly puts Shedeur in a box he doesn't deserve to be in. See, Gabriel has a style that screams safe pick. He moves well, he improvises, and he's got enough college experience to make him look polished. He's the guy you trust not to completely wreck your game plan. And coaches, especially ones like Rees, love that. They don't want unpredictability, they want predictability dressed up as reliability. Meanwhile, Shedeur is the exact opposite. He's not just playing the position, he's redefining it. He's precise, calm under pressure, and has this uncanny ability to make things happen when everything around him is falling apart. That's not safe. That's not predictable. That's dangerous, and dangerous is exactly what wins games in the NFL. But Rees, in his infinite wisdom, decided to take a sledgehammer to Shedeur's shine and poured gasoline all over Gabriel's.
I thought Gabriel's tape was better. And I think if you ask me, like, the reason why would be just through some, like, elite ball placement throws versus really, really tight coverage. There wasn't a ton given to him. And so, like, the efficiency with how he moved, the decision-making, some of the ball placement, and how tight some of the hip-to-hip coverage was, I just was very impressed. The under-center play-action passing stuff was big time. Some of the stuff that he didn't do in college, he did at the NFL, the manipulation of the defenses. And so I pushed back on the interception thing. I know the interception got a lot of play over the weekend.
Now, maybe this was some sort of genius psychological chess move. Maybe Rees thought, if I hype up Gabriel, Shedeur will dig deeper and come out swinging. Great idea in theory, but in practice, it just comes across like you're undercutting one of your most promising players before the poor guy has even had a chance to show what he can do. Coaches love to talk about culture, confidence, and building a locker room of trust. Nothing says trust like publicly preferring the other guy. And let's not act like fans didn't notice. Social media practically melted down in real time. But this is where the story gets funny. Because while the internet was roasting Rees, Gabriel's fans were celebrating like he'd already been handed the starting job. It turned into this bizarre quarterback civil war where one camp is yelling, "Respect Shedeur," and the other is shouting, "Gabriel season, baby." And the best part? Neither quarterback has even taken a real snap for the Browns yet. This whole thing is happening before the movie even starts. We're basically watching the trailers and already debating who should win Best Actor.
So Dillion Gabriel, obviously, as everybody knows, is the backup. As far as how the Browns are now settled for the year, is that like we good now? It's going to be
No.
We're not.
Joe Flacco's 65, man.
You think so? When Joe
That doesn't
Flacco,
settle one argument.
so Gabriel will get the nod if Joe don't perform. Who's got a better chance of being successful, Gabriel or Shedeur?
Gabriel would have a better chance of being successful if the backup behind him's name wasn't Shedeur Sanders. Because Gabriel, when he gets in, he's going to struggle. And the people know that Shedeur is behind him. So it's just a matter of, okay, let's get through him and get to Shedeur. So I don't think the Browns fans will be.
The irony here is delicious. By praising Gabriel so heavily, Rees just put an insane amount of pressure on him. If Gabriel doesn't live up to the hype, it's not going to be his fault, it's going to be Rees's. Because once you anoint someone as your guy, you better pray he delivers. Otherwise, the fanbase comes back with receipts, and let's just say Cleveland fans are very good at holding grudges. Meanwhile, Shedeur's situation is quietly becoming the ultimate setup for a redemption arc. Every great sports story has that moment where the underdog gets doubted, written off, or overshadowed. The man operates like his entire career is one long prove them wrong montage. Tell him he's not good enough, and he'll spend the next 6 months building a highlight reel specifically designed to make you regret ever opening your mouth. That's the scary part for Rees. By throwing him under the bus, he might have just created a monster. But let's zoom out for a second, because this isn't just about one coach and 2 quarterbacks. This is about the culture of the NFL and how narratives get built.
Breaking news. There's a whole lot of racism going on in college football right now, and they ain't hiding it. They have an agenda to cancel Deion Sanders and his sons, and I'm quite sure y'all know that already. They don't like how flashy and arrogant the Sanders family is, but they got it honest. It's in their bloodline. So let me expose how dirty they play when they feel like you in the way. They allowed Deion Sanders to have a 4-year head start so they could come up with a game plan to 86 that shit.
Coaches, analysts, and front offices love their safe picks. They love the guys who fit the mold, check the boxes, and look good on paper. But the game isn't played on paper, it's played on the field, in moments where unpredictability and guts matter more than schemes and spreadsheets. And that's where Shedeur shines. He's not just another quarterback in a long line of prospects. He's the type of player who can tilt the field, elevate his teammates, and make people believe. But for whatever reason, Rees chose to downplay that and put his chips on Gabriel. Maybe it's personal preference, maybe it's scheme fit, or maybe it's just classic coaching ego, thinking you know something the rest of the world doesn't. Either way, the gauntlet's been thrown. The line's been drawn. And that's what makes this whole circus so perfect. Because now we get to watch the internet, the media, and every self-proclaimed NFL insider crawl out of the woodwork to argue over a competition that hasn't even started. So let's actually do the breakdown the way it should be done, not the way Tommy Rees wants it to be framed.
When I watched it, I thought he is better than some people are saying coming out of camp, but he's not as good as Shedeur Sanders. To me, nothing of that performance to me said this is the guy who should be stealing first team reps while Shedeur is fourth. If anything, I got the impression it should have been opposite. Shedeur should be getting first team reps and Gabriel should be the 4th string. And I'm not saying that he can't play at all, but I thought he didn't look as comfortable in the pocket. I thought his size looked like it could be a problem. Like a couple of his throws, he had to like really get up on tippy toes. Was that sustainable? I also didn't like, once you got off the script is when he kind of got worse, you know, and we saw Shedeur come out and maybe you could say Shedeur struggled early or at least like missed a couple throws, but
on one side, you've got Shedeur Sanders, the calm assassin. Pocket awareness like he's got a sixth sense, precision that makes defenses look like traffic cones, and the ability to stay composed when 300-pound linemen are trying to turn him into a pancake. He's got poise, patience, and an NFL-ready mentality that screams long-term success. Then you've got Dillion Gabriel. And look, Gabriel's not a scrub. Far from it. He's quick, he's mobile, he can improvise, and he's got enough college tape to prove he knows what he's doing. But let's be honest, he's more of a fun option than a franchise cornerstone. He's the kind of guy who makes a couple of flashy plays, gets everyone hyped, but leaves you wondering if he can sustain it for 4 quarters against NFL defenses that actually watch film. He's the guy who makes a bad play call look brilliant because he found a way to execute it better than it deserved. And you'd think that's exactly what a coach would want, someone who can elevate everything around him. But for Rees? Nah. Too risky. Too much unpredictability. Too much star power. Heaven forbid your quarterback actually overshadows your playbook.
I told y'all. Shedeur, Deion Sanders' son, is doing 100% better than Dillion for the Browns. First day of minicamp.
The truth is about these guys, I have 2 strong opinions. I think Dillion Gabriel's size is an issue. I would have a hard time building around him. He's small. He's serious and he's businesslike. I like I like his temperament more than Shedeur, who's silly and kind of goofy, but I think Shedeur was underdrafted. Shedeur is bigger. I think he moves well. I would choose Shedeur over Dillion Gabriel, but Kevin Stefanski, he liked the seriousness, the accuracy, and the way he ran an offense.
And this is where the sarcasm practically writes itself. Because imagine being an offensive coordinator in Cleveland, where the bar for quarterback play has historically been somewhere between "don't ruin everything" and "please don't break before week 5, and deciding that your best move is to snub the most promising young talent you've got. It's almost impressive. It's like setting your GPS for success and then deliberately driving straight into a ditch. But here's where the real comedy kicks in, the media reaction. Oh, they love this. It's like Rees handed them a week's worth of hot takes on a silver platter. Pure gold. You'd think someone had uncovered state secrets the way they were hyping this up. QB controversy in Cleveland. Sanders snubbed. Gabriel crowned before snap. It was like the media collectively decided, forget preseason. This is the story now. Meanwhile, fans were split down the middle like it was a presidential election. On one side, you had Shedeur's camp. Loyal, vocal, and armed with highlight clips longer than a Marvel movie. They were tweeting out every pinpoint throw, every clutch drive, every stat that proved Shedeur was the future. On the other side, Gabriel's supporters were throwing out phrases like coach's dream and perfect system fit, while acting like Rees' opinion was gospel.
I can't imagine there's many people that think Dillion Gabriel's a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. I don't care where they were drafted. And if the Browns are the one team that thinks that, then I'm going to suspect it's not true. They don't know what they're doing.
They've been on every quarterback evaluation for 30 years.
Right.
I never root against anybody.
Yeah.
But I'd be surprised if Dillion Gabriel's ever a legitimate starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. I-I'd be surprised. I just don't think.
Well, then it is a wasted pick because you took him in the top 100.
Yeah, but potentially may get away with it because of Shedeur.
And caught in the middle of all this chaos? The Cleveland Browns, an organization that was probably just hoping to make it through a week without becoming a meme. Sorry, Cleveland. Not this time. Your offensive coordinator turned a quiet depth chart into a soap opera, and now the entire league is watching. But let's really think about what this means for Shedeur. Because while Gabriel might be basking in the glow of being Rees' favorite toy right now, the pressure on him just went from 0 to astronomical. When a coach publicly hypes you like that, there's no going back. If you don't deliver, you're toast. Fans will turn on you faster than milk in the sun. Every missed throw, every bad read, every 3-and-out is going to be magnified 10 times over because the coach made it clear, this was supposed to be the guy. Shedeur, on the other hand, is sitting pretty. And this is why Rees might have just written his own downfall. Because if Shedeur comes out and starts lighting it up, the narrative flips instantly. Suddenly, Rees looks like the guy who couldn't recognize greatness staring him in the face. And in a city like Cleveland, where fans are permanently strapped into an emotional roller coaster, you don't want to be that guy.
Honestly, I don't even think about nothing. I don't think about anything. If it's not words or anything, at this point I can't do anything to me. I know, that God put the ability and the power within me to not even think about nobody else's comments, not care. It is what it is. I spoke with him. He said, nah, bro, that wasn't. He said, that wasn't. He told me on the plane. He came up. He was like, nah, bro, that wasn't at you. I see how they trying to spin. I'm like, oh, all right. I'm not tripping. Regardless of whatever it was, nobody's words or anything affects me, So.
What makes this even more hilarious is how predictable it all is. Coaches do this every year. They pick a guy, they hype him up, and then when it doesn't pan out, they backtrack faster than a politician caught on camera. And fans? Oh, they remember. They keep receipts, they dig up old interviews, and they roast you for eternity. If Gabriel struggles and Shedeur shines, Tommy Rees better hope he's got a good lock on his Twitter account. But let's not act like this is just a Browns thing. This is the NFL in a nutshell. Coaches get obsessed with their vision, and instead of embracing raw talent, they force players into boxes. If you fit the box, congrats, you're the favorite. If you don't, you're suddenly a project. Never mind that the so-called projects often end up being the superstars. Never mind that the outliers are the ones who redefine the game. And right now, thanks to Tommy Rees, he's got a full tank. So let's all take a moment to appreciate the comedy here. A coach who hasn't even unpacked his office yet has already created a quarterback rivalry, divided the fanbase, handed the media a feeding frenzy, and potentially set himself up to look like a clown if things don't go exactly as planned. All before the season even starts. That's not just a decision, that's a masterpiece of chaos.
As Shedeur settled in and he was going 2s on 2s, 3s on 3s, you saw his play ascend. He got better as the game went on and he settled in and got comfortable. And I thought Dillion kind of got worse as the game went on and got off of the script. 2 turnovers is a big deal to me. 2 turnovers, no touchdowns. I thought it was telling too. We got to the red zone down inside that 5. They didn't let him really attempt a pass. Shedeur was throwing for touchdowns. Dillion Gabriel got to just turn around and hand it off a bunch of times. It kind of seemed like they were like protecting him a little bit. To me, I watched that game and I thought Dillion Gabriel, better than advertised, still career backup. And I watched Shedeur play and I thought way better than the Browns are telling us they are by his depth chart position and could 100% be the quarterback of our team.
The funniest part of this entire saga is how it's going to age. Right now, Tommy Rees looks bold, confident, maybe even visionary for putting his stamp on Dillion Gabriel. But football has a way of making people look foolish in record time. If Gabriel stumbles, if he throws one too many ducks or crumbles under pressure, every fan in Cleveland will remind Rees of that bus he tossed Shedeur Sanders under. And they won't whisper it, they'll chant it louder than the dog pound after a touchdown. That's not pressure, that's opportunity. And here's the kicker, by hyping Gabriel and downplaying Shedeur, Rees accidentally built Shedeur the most compelling storyline of all. Fans love a hero, sure, but they adore an underdog with receipts. If Shedeur shines, he won't just win games, he'll own the narrative. And Tommy Rees? He'll be remembered as the guy who gave us the setup, only to watch his chosen favorite crumble while the snubbed kid turned into a star. So in the end, maybe Shedeur should thank Rees. Because nothing fuels greatness like doubt, and nothing entertains fans more than watching a coach eat his own words on national TV.